Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday. Ooh, they're coming out already. I'm alarmed at how fast Tuesdays come round. So we've got some Celtic messages this morning. A little bit of the Irish, a little bit of the ancient, a little bit of the Druid. So the one that's already come out, the hawk. The hawk is always about focusing on your life. So are you somebody that may be focusing a little bit too much on other people's lives, which can actually be a bit of a projection of the fact that we actually need to focus more on ourselves? And remember, we're not responsible or in charge of what others do or don't do. So how much are you inputting and how much can you afford to step back? Partly for your own good, your own peace of mind, and partly to let people go through what they need to go through, even if you don't agree or approve. Sometimes we just have to surrender, let go. Okay, that's the way it's going to be. Acceptance, working with acceptance can be quite tough, but it's extremely powerful. The spring, refreshment. Well, we're not quite in spring at the moment, are we? But there's something about the changing of the seasons, the changing of the tides, refreshment. What energy does this season bring out in you? And check in with yourself, because the weather impacts our emotions enormously, but it also says what's buried down, and it can be a time of hibernation or a time of coming out. It can be a time of, as leaves fall, letting go. What are we holding on to that we don't need to take forwards? We've got the hawk again, so I'm going to take a moment with this. What's going on? The focusing card, focusing inward. Sometimes we have to focus downward as well, not just inward, and there's a difference from focusing inward and downward. Downward is going down into the depth, into the pits, into the abyss of maybe things that you did not want to take with you, or you didn't want to think about, or you've shelved, or you've shunned. Remember the cycles of the season. Whatever that we're shelving and don't want to work with, we want to avoid, it's always going to come back. It's going to present in your future, whether it just because it comes back up to the surface emotionally, or situations trigger it back. Wherever there's a trigger, we're attached to something. You're doing yourself a disservice if you keep avoiding something. And if you're really worried about digging deep, reach out for help. You don't always have to do it alone. Something about mental agility as well. Mental agility, flexibility of the mind. We can get stuck in our stuff because we're looking at it just from one angle. When we can afford to be a bit more flexible with our thinking, think outside the box, listen to what people are telling you. I always say, if you get told the same thing by more than one person and they don't know each other, there's probably something in it that we can often dismiss. What is it we're avoiding? So this whole energy, this reading feels about avoidance. And the maypole, so again, the seasons. What is it? Something almost about trying to be somewhere you're not. Would you rather be in the past? Would you rather be in the future? What is it about now that becomes so uncomfortable? Because the past and the future don't really exist. One's a memory and one is being co-created by what energy we put in today. Today creates tomorrow, and then the next day and the next day. So getting okay with our history as well, by fine combing, going through things again to come to a better perspective, can be helpful, so we can kind of actually change up our history to make it better for us, so we can accept it better. And the future, it's what you do today, it's what you believe in today that creates tomorrow. So you do have control over your future, but we also don't want too much control over your future. Guess what I've got again? The hawk. I would say 3 times lucky. Who needs this hawk energy today? Stop looking at other people, look at yourself. And I'll take that one too. Have a lovely Tuesday, everybody.